A small village that connects multiple kingdoms together. Hi, it's Muffin. In today's video I'll be sharing one of the villages that I've built that connects multiple kingdoms together. There's no name for this village as yet, so if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. If you have seen my previous videos, you will know that I build everything in one big world. So I'll have many kingdoms placed around the map, especially on this continent. And the unique feature of this village is that it is the intersection point of almost all of the kingdoms. That in one way or another, all of their paths lead to this place. As trade flows from one village or one kingdom to another, there become necessary stop points which form these trade-based villages. So if we continue towards those two big towers, we get towards Drakland. But if we follow this road back from where it came, you go towards Erewhon or to Dawnfall. Something I learned a little while ago is that very often the first build or structure is a tavern, because it is a resting place for travellers going from one area to another. Another reasoning for the positioning of this village is that it sits at the foot of Jürgendelve, which is my dwarven themed build. So Jürgendelve's main export is their metalwork, in particular their weaponry. So this entrance or exit of Jürgendelve is positioned right above the forge. So with that village being just at the footstep, it is in favour of Jürgendelve because it doubles then as a weapons trade area. The dwarves are able to go out into this town or village and conduct their trade with all of the other kingdoms that may be travelling through the region. And that is in addition to any of their exports that go naturally to those kingdoms. Going back to what I was saying about the tavern being the centre of a village normally, is that as the tavern prospers and begins to attract more people, other people will then come and establish their own businesses around that tavern because of that trade that flows through that region. So over time, you would then have the families of those people come and live there as well, which then creates a small town or a village. As with all villages, there needs to be some authority to maintain order and to protect the populace. So in this case, we have these towers that are positioned by the entrances. So not only does it function as a place for the police to live, it also, with the tower being that much higher than the surrounding buildings, it acts as a vantage point so that the authority can see any army or any enemy that's approaching, especially with the area being so trade heavy. Drakland is one of my oldest builds, but I haven't shown it yet, and it resides at the very north of the map. To provide a sense that you are entering this village and where the confines of the village are, I created these portal gate-like structures that sit on either end, so you are forced to pass through them. By placing larger buildings towards the sides It's a way for the village to impose its presence onto any person that enters it, to show that they are powerful and that they can be a threat, or that it is a worthy place to come and invest your business into trade. And just with it being nestled in the mountains and having rivers passing through it, it is a very inviting, aesthetic, calm place. The tavern, just to the right of the screen right now, is constructed with the same template and same process as the taverns throughout my world. And there is a tutorial on my channel that shows how it was built, and rather than being a step-by-step tutorial, I show the general processes and leave the rest to you. It's always important that when building your own build, you make it your own. Even if you're copying a tutorial, try and tweak it a little bit just so that it becomes your own structure, that you implement your own story into that creation. So here, because I wanted to kind of have it be a very aesthetic location, I added these waterfalls into the area, into the mountainside. And I have another tutorial that goes through making waterfalls and how to use campfires to resemble that spray. A downside of solely playing in creative mode is that after a while, all your builds in your world feel dead. There's no life to them. And one of the ways that you can break that and make it feel alive again is by adding rivers, or by changing the weather, adding different texture packs, or adding shaders to your builds, so that you get that ever-changing aspect. Especially with shaders or rain. You can see how the day shifts and then the shadows fall, and you get different lighting, and it really brings the game back to life. Another way is by creating unique aspects for regions. So what I did here was I had the streams going from the waterfalls converge at a point and then go underground, thus splitting the village into two sections. Whereas before, it was only on grass, there was no river or rock in the middle. And what that led to was a very stale green and orange environment. But by adding the river and adding little bridges, you can see how now you're forced to move around and navigate the terrain. And I think by adding these small features when building, you can make it so much more than just a flat ground with a random build on it. You can make your builds feel like they've been built and fit into the world around them. And so then when you walk through your world, it doesn't feel as if though you're walking in Minecraft. It feels like you're walking in real life and experiencing the world around you and the shifting cultures and shifting architecture. And a simple way of conveying the age of your build is by adding graveyards. You can clearly show how many generations have lived here. And by showing different types of tombstones or graves, you can show that people came from different regions and brought their own customs and buried people according to that. So you can convey a lot just by how you build and what different types of architectures you merge together or where you place a build. But for me, it's been a very aesthetic build. I hope you've liked it. If you have any future suggestions, please leave them down below. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and most importantly, have a good day.